The hardest part of leaving the comfort zone is not what you think. It's not the discomfort once you're in. It's the moment before when you have to decide. That's where many people get stuck. But once you understand what's actually happening in that moment, it becomes much easier to move forward. Looking back at my career and life, including more than 20 years at IBM and Google, I've been in that situation many times. In this video, I show you what helped me make those decisions and the key lessons you can use in your own life. When I look at the out-of-comfort situations in my life, I can see a clear pattern. The most difficult part were mostly the decisions before those out-of-comfort situations. I could observe that when I was in front of such big changes in my life, such big opportunities, quite often, I observed a mix of emotions, positive emotions as well as negative emotions, that were directly linked to the opportunities and risks associated with these out-of-comfort situations in front of me. Sometimes these situations were triggered by external factors, such as a business need, when I was asked 20 years ago by my company if I would be willing to relocate to Geneva, which is the same country as I live, but a different cultural area with a different language, French. And sometimes these situations were driven by internal desires, such as when I decided 10 years later to quit my job and to travel around the world for a year in the context of a sabbatical. What helped me make decisions in situations where things were not clear were two things. The first one was a risk assessment. Let's take the Geneva example. When I was asked 20 years ago by my manager if I could imagine to relocate to Geneva, I was working in Zurich at that time. I'm Swiss-German by origin. I was immediately enthusiastic about this idea because I anyway was looking for a change, and I found it really exciting to discover a new culture, the French culture, which I did never experience live, respectively the Swiss French culture, as well as the French culture, because there are many people from France that work in Geneva as well. But at the same time, I had some question marks and the risks and fears related to those risks that I have seen, such as, for example, a risk related to the language. Me, I was working as a seller specialized in business continuity and resiliency services at that time, and I was fluent in English, but not perfectly fluent in French. And if you work in sales, you know how important it is to really understand the client well and to possibly even read between the lines and explain the benefits of whatever you are selling. So the language is really key. So that was one of the risks that I have identified and seen. But this one was easy to mitigate. It was quite obvious and clear that I could visit a language school to improve my French. I didn't start from scratch. I already had a solid level, but I was not perfectly fluent because it's not my native language. So this risk was easy to mitigate. The second risk that I could see was a cultural risk. The Swiss-German culture is definitely different than the Swiss-French culture. And I was not sure if this Swiss-French community would be happy if someone from a different culture from the Swiss-German area would come for a year or two to live there. But this risk, this cultural risk, I could simply mitigate by visiting the team before I took the decision and to see how the situation was and whether I felt welcome or not, which I did and which helped me get a better understanding. And it was clear that I was very welcome because they had an issue. They had a lack of resources that was specialized in the area I was specialized in. The third risk I had seen at that time was a risk associated to my apartment. I was at that time living in Zurich, and in Zurich it's pretty difficult to find nice apartments, and I was happy where I was, so I didn't want to go to Geneva just for 12 months as an example. That was the minimum discussion point, and then come back and having a big pain to find something nice. So this third risk I could discuss with my management, and we could easily find a solution that was beneficial to both sides. What I just explained gave me clarity about the risks. Some risks could be mitigated, some could be avoided, and some risks remained. And with that base, it was easier for me to take a decision. And the decision was for me then quite simple, because I anyway felt a passion for this idea. I felt also a passion for the business. And with that, it was easy for me to take then this decision after this risk assessment. Much harder than this was a decision in my life 8 years later, when I was in front of the choice between two different job opportunities that were presented to me. One of them was that I would, for the first time in my life, take over management responsibility. I already had a management education at IBM, but never assumed a role, a leading role. So this was the opportunity that was presented to me. It meant leading a team of 13 people and with a significant revenue responsibility of a 9-figure dollar amount. And on the one hand, that was one of these job opportunities, and at the same time, the other job opportunity was like a dream sales job, but again, it would have meant to relocate in another city and in another cultural area. Again, in the Swiss-French part, but I was back in the Zurich area. The hard thing for me was that my heart could say yes to both opportunities, and it was it felt like a 50-50 feeling, and both with significant implications of my life. On the one hand, a fantastic career opportunity, the leadership role that was presented to me, and at the other side, I could have taken over a responsibility for a very large client that I admired, but it was connected with relocation, and the relocation meant to me that to leave my social circle again. And I was then 10 years later, and to me, my family and friends are an important aspect as well. So that was really a tough decision for me. But what helped me then, one day, was simply to bring my thoughts on paper and to make a table with these two job opportunities and writing down the pros and the cons, and then to think in a second step, which of these pros and cons really matter to me the most. And with this approach, with bringing it to paper and assessing what really matters the most, and I even gave some points to these both sides, then it made it much easier for me to take a decision. And once I made the decision and communicated it to the management, everything felt much lighter. I said yes to the opportunity in Geneva and stayed 4 years there. And I said yes to the leadership role in Zurich and did the job for 3 years. Both experiences were very different. The Geneva experience was one of the best professional experiences in my life. The second experience, the leadership experience, was very different. It was quite tough. It was successful from a financial perspective, but it was also a high-stress, high-pressure environment, and I was not feeling very happy and fulfilled in that situation, which was the trigger why I decided after approximately 3 years to quit the job, to leave the company, and to realize my dream of doing a sabbatical year and travel around the world for 9 months. Looking 20 years back on out-of-comfort situations, there is not one-size-fits-all magic formula, but I see 4 key takeaways. The first, such decisions are very personal. Some people prefer to stay in their comfort zone and prefer stability and continuity, and in my view, this is totally okay. And my second takeaway is that different situations require different approaches. In some situations, it's absolutely the best to jump into the cold water and just gain a new experience and to learn mostly a steep learning curve very quickly, and in some cases in a tough way. But in my view, especially for bigger life decisions, it's valuable to not only think about the opportunities, but really also assess the risks and see what you can avoid, mitigate, and what remains, so that you can take a good decision and prepare yourself and move outside this comfort zone step by step. My third takeaway is about growth. And it is very clear to me when I look back at my experience, the 6-7 times that I really stepped outside of my comfort zone in major ways, life-changing ways, it is very clear that stepping outside were strong growth accelerators. And my fourth takeaway is this: interest matters more than courage. If you take a decision, a big decision, a bold one, and you do something that you're not really very interested in, then such situations can be feasible but tough. So my advice would be that if you feel a spark inside yourself for a certain topic, and if the risks associated to your idea is acceptable, then I would definitely advise to prepare yourself and to step outside the comfort zone, because that's where you grow the most. My final advice is this: trust your ability to learn and never be shy to ask for help. The world's largest high-performance study shows that long-term success is not correlated strongly to the gender, to the nationality, to age, or even to intelligence. Long-term success is rather highly correlated to the right mindset and the right habits. The habits you see right here. If you are interested to train and apply them in your own life, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to learn what you are working on. Or if you want to know more about the scientific study behind these habits, I recommend you this video here. And otherwise, thank you for watching, and I look forward to see you soon again.